Okay. So just to break this down, you guys each want to just like take a slide. There's like 6 of them each. Okay. So we are writing our paper on using the fairy tale Snow White and talking about how like the significance of appearance in the book. And so our thesis is by reading multiple adaptations of the same fairy tale, we can learn important applicable life lessons, such as not to fixate on outward appearances, as seen in the constant theme found in all adaptations of the story Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
So our audience, we split them into 2 separate demographics. So the first demographic is people that are looking for more of academic information and kind of the deeper meanings and adaptations behind all of these, or meanings and things behind these adaptations. So they could have more of a bias towards like academically written papers and stuff. Is understandable. But the second demographic is somebody more just interested in like the fairy tale and Snow White in general, as reading more of like for fun. So their bias would be more of preferring a basic style of writing and not really looking at the deeper meanings, or more of like the academic aspect of that.
All right, so our first source, kind of defending the thesis, is an article by Girardot. You say that, his name, and it's Initiation and Meaning in the Tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And this source, so Girardot is a professor of religion and spends most of his time looking at myths and meanings within folklore. And in this source, we will analyze, or we'll use this source to analyze and find the meanings within the 3 adaptations. That's the first source.
Sweet. The second source is Christina Bacalega, an article titled Postmodern Fairy Tales, Gender and Narrative Strategies. And this is one of the main sources we chose because it analyzes like a lot of different folklore, like not necessarily just Snow White, but it does have like an emphasis on Snow White as well. So like we get a little bit of outside sourcing as well. And so it's credible, it's peer reviewed, and the like one of the main themes of this article is that like they like scrutinize outside beauty and shows that it's not like the most important characteristic, or like that's what like they observe within all of the different like fairy tales that it, or folklore that it goes over.
So our third source is by Seda Peksen, and it's children's literature as a tool for gender appropriation. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the previous source, and it's in a scholarly journal, so it's a credible peer-reviewed source, and it talks about the gender roles and specifically about the beauty that we're kind of looking at. But it goes more into depth about the 1812 Grimm version, which is one of our adaptations. So that's why this one is one of them.
All right, and then our fourth source, it is titled Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and it is by Thomas M. ENG. And he is a professor of humanities. He's credible and focuses on aspects of the film. This source gives us a better idea of the Disney adaptation version of Snow White, and it shows the main themes of the Disney version, which also kind of focuses on beauty, again, an outward appearance that is emphasized and important. And so that's what that source is for.
well, that was our theme, our audience, and our four sources. Sweet.